Our next talk will be a nice talk, I guess, from Torsten, from zero to GenAI hero, catchy title. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Hi.
Great, cool. Okay, it's on. Great. Yeah, catchy title and an emoji, very unique. I'm going not to talk about e-commerce in the first place. I know this is a conference where e-commerce product and developer meet. I'm going to talk about agriculture, which is, but the methods are applicable to e-commerce. So yes, this is a project I built for a client in winter, and it's not live yet. Don't even ask about it. But we liked it a lot, and I'm going to guide you through the journey I had. From my side, learning a lot about GenAI, and for the client to learn about a lot about his data. So it's a client I don't do search consulting for. I do that's the other stuff of work I do. It's like cloud computing, pushing servers from left to right. And they had this abandoned search in the corner, and I thought, well, it's a Solr search. I know Solr a lot, and then I asked them, can I just take it for a ride, for a test ride? And they said yes. So I took the search, the data, and played around with it. So, and the idea was that the problem with the search was that nobody liked it. The customers didn't like it, the in-house developers didn't like it, the users didn't like it, and barely no one was using it. They have a lot of traffic on the website, but I think they had 1,000 searches per week or something, because you will see the results are really, really bad. So the idea was, can we make it better, and can we skip the hard part? Because I've been through manually tuning and fine-tuning relevance and synonyms and tokenizing 100 times. So I thought, that's not something to learn for me, but is there a way that we can just skip it and make it better? And can we make it good enough by just springing some AI on the search? So yeah, that's what I did. And that's the website. It's the largest German agricultural news site. Just a quick reminder: I removed all the Werbung, all the ads from the slides, so you can see the content. Don't be surprised if you visit the website. It looks different. But it's a very important site for a very, very niche clientele, and they're very special. But the search is the untuned Solr search. It has some tokenization and barely no relevance, but they use it a lot. They use it as primary data store. And the immediate things that you see on the website is, okay, I search for corn or corn harvesting, and the relevance on the one side is the first article is like 9 months ago, then 12 years ago, then 6 years ago, and whoever Louise is, but I don't think is relevant for corn harvesting, what happened at her farm like 12 years ago. Definitely haunted by the recency demon. And there's no after search navigation, and it looks like there are only exact matches for this. So, and the fun part is that's not the only search engine hidden in the website. They have like, this is a search engine for agricultural vehicles hidden here. There's a job search hidden here, and I think they have some kind of archive search as well. So lots of stuff to fix. So what I thought was, well, this should be easily doable. Add some after search navigation, fix the relevancy in some kind of way, and fix recall and precision, because the recall is obviously not good. And let's see what the precision says. So that's what their article looks like. I mean, they have like editors who are really typing the articles. It's not AI yet, but they are manually assigning the categories. But the problem is all drill down, all further reading is manually assigned. And if they missed it like 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, there is no updating of the articles. Articles are SEO optimized, so they loaded with synonyms. And yeah, you can see what that does to relevance. So what I did, that's that part. Let's just take the article, give it a spin through an LLM, and I did very much two types of operations. The one was do some categorization. So I gave the main, it's not even categorized into a main topic, the article. I gave them the correct topics they had, and I said, okay, what's the category you would put this article into? And they have some sort of tagging system that is not really, yeah, well. And I said, here, these are I like 200 tags, assign the article to the most relevant tags. And that were the categorization operations. And I said, well, then do me a summary and do some entity extraction, like political parties, geographical landscapes, countries, whatnot. And what I also said was, okay, well, please, what search phrases would you like to find this article in? And this is obviously, it's a company going bankrupt, so there's a lot of bankruptcy search phrases in Germany here. And I wanted a definitely SEO-less summary. That's what I told the LLM. And it gave me a pretty brief summary. So that's what I did for pre-processing the LLM. For the customer, it was very important that no LLM was touched during the search, just in the backend process. So they just run it through there once. Fun fact, the quality of the extraction was better for doing one extraction at a time. So it's like 10 extractions or something. But we'll cover the costs later. So that's the result. And side note, if you build a proof of concept, always do the HTML right and make it shiny. It's way more appealing. So the result is basically you can now do after search navigation. Here are just two things activated. We just have the categories and where I let the LLM pick some topics. You see AI-generated summary. You have tags for linking. And basically, you have relevancy fixed. It's a 10-year-old blog post by Dr. and it's just boosting recency. And it worked perfectly. So you have the most, as it's a new site, you want the most recent information on top, but not the most recent hit for your prop harvesting search. And yeah, you have tags, you can link, you can drill into the search results during after search navigation. You can broaden your search using the tags. Perfect. I liked it very much. And the customer said, yeah, okay. So let's drill into the details. It's the Solr in the back. And yes, it's Java, sorry. And what I did is I have Quirky and Smoothie configured. I started with it, but then I got to the point where I said, well, I don't want to add like hundreds of synonyms here. I think I have one synonym, tractor and trekker, because that wasn't working using the LLM. And the key part of fixing relevancy and precision was not to search on the raw article data. Just search on the generated stuff. And it worked fine. We did some side-by-side comparisons and some user tests, and they loved it. And the recency, it's just the recency boost functions using the publishing date, and it's good enough. And it can be that simple. That's basically the message. No learning to rank, no whatnot. It just can be that simple to do a very easy fix to your search engines. That's like half a day of work. Costs. They have like 250,000 articles covering, I think, the last 2 or 3 years. And I had to process them like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 3 to 10 times. until I got it right, until the quality was right, and the prompts were right. And processing them cost me a whopping $18. So if you use Google Gemini, it's like basically for free. And I just updated the website with the articles of the last half year, and it was like $2. So that's the message. Just use it. Use what's out there. Don't start buying AI boxes. Just use the LLM and see how far you can get. But there's one more thing. So I said, well, let's play around with all your other searches. So if you search for a very popular harvester brand in Germany, Fendt, then you can. There are a lot of hits in the vehicle search, and the idea was when I looked at the search logs, they were sparse, but there were some, and there were just mainly two topics. I need some spare parts for my Fendt tractor, and how can I get rid of my subscription? That were basically the main topics people were searching there. And I thought, well, let's play around with query intent. Let's take the query and ask the LLM, what's the intent? Because I wanted a unified search experience for the website, and I said, it's not necessarily an article. It can be a vehicle search, or it can be something like, how do I get rid of my subscription, or what newsletters are, what newsletter cover pigs? Well, yes, that's an issue. And that was very easy. It's just running everything through a very simple prompt. And it worked like a charm. And that's nothing the customer wanted on his website, because here the LLM is hit on each and every search. But just another example how easy it is to just build value using an off-the-shelf LLM. And it worked flawlessly. I mean, sometimes it says maybe for the Fendt tractor, there are a lot of articles, but it's mostly pivoting towards the vehicle. But it's pretty nice. And that was a great experiment. And the customer was, oh, well, yeah, we're getting closer. And the next thing was a very important topic to me, diversity in search results. When this is again the tractor manufacturer Fendt, and I thought, well, we have the data, we have the LLM. Can we just do something cool to the result page? Because there are like 243 articles. You can do all the things we learned the hard way using after search navigation or tag filtering. Can we just cluster the results and make it appealing, make it easy for the user to dig into the topics that he likes? So I basically asked the LLM, cluster the results, and shed light on the topic from different perspectives. So, and build a catchy title, make a summary, categorize the articles, and attach the tags, and it worked like a charm. And that was the jaw-dropping moment for the customer. We said, well, that can be a game changer on the where you have a very broad topic, where you can really easily dig into different aspects of a broad topic. There was something like Fendt, there was the history and the innovation, and something like precision and whatnot. And oh yeah, that's all. The idea was basically that I have the application, I give the query to Solr, I get the tags facet, where I categorize, use the LLM to categorize the tags to the articles in the indexing step, and took the tags facet, all the values, and gave the prompt with the query and the tags to the LLM and said, these are the tags, this is the query, make up your clusters, and build the catchy titles and the summary, and well, it can behave this way. And the cool thing is, it's not only applicable to very broad terms, it's also applicable to extracted entities like Gemestemir, agricultural minister back then. In that sphere, a very not the well best seen person. So there are a lot of controversial articles about him, but that was a way to shed also light on the good parts. And the same with a very controversial meat manufacturer and pricing articles where they shed light on analysis and global market and local market prices. And yes, it adds latency, but things are cached and the results were stunning. That's it from my side. Use LLMs. Have fun with them. Questions?
So thank you for your talk. It was really interesting. My question would be, if it works so great, what is keeping you from going to production? Like, what are now you showed all the things that work great, what doesn't work great, and what were your challenges?
Prioritization, basically. That's the main topic in every enterprise. We have to redesign the user database first, and it takes 6 months. That's the honest answer.
Okay, thank you.
It's a question from my side. Thank you for the talk, first of all. For the changes that you saw in that first iteration where you had I suppose the greatest changes in experience, what would you say is the attribution to the different types of changes made, as in like relevance, sorting, tagging, UX, UI? Where would you see is the greatest gains to be made?
On the one hand, sorting, because that was a constant complaint from the customers. And that was just an easy fix, like reading the blog post, adding it to the Solr query, and done. And in terms of recall, it was definitely not searching, or in precision, was not searching on the raw data, just on the extractions. And that just reduced the amount of articles found. And on the other hand, also searching in those search phrases that really increased precision.
Thank you for the talk. I think it answers the great question, like how to use LLM to improve search engines without changing the search engine. So I think this is great. My question about the second part about using LLM for intent detection, how did it impact the latency? Because it's always a big problem.
Yes, it's the prompt was short. I think it added about 300 milliseconds latency, and you could cache that. But in general, I would rather use a trained model or a local model than giving that to an LLM. If you hit things online, yeah, you have to decide.
Thank you for the talk. It's lovely to see you use the LLMs both as input to categorize and as output to generate content. But on that last part, how much branding and tone and voice did your customer want to bring in? Did you have to work with them to give good guidance to the LLM generation for the dossier de rubriques, or was the average of latent space already good for them?
Short answer, it's just the average that comes out because they were just buffered by the results. I think they have not coped with the idea yet that they can change the tone. And that would be a next iteration when it really comes to bringing that thing live.
It shows the value of good defaults.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the talk. About the clustering part idea, how many iterations do you have to do that to get to like, I mentioned there were like problems of the deterministic results, having a consistency with the cluster tags and all that?
It basically was like 1.5 hours work. It's just that easy. There were not many iterations on it. It just worked. And that's my message. Just try it. It works.
Hi, thanks for a great talk. I think my question would be on the aspect of, I know you said that it worked in 1.5 hours, but do you have any evaluation results or something that is worth trusting? Because anything that's generated obviously needs to be verified and proved by the evaluation, and I don't see you covered that on the slides.
No, and we, as it wasn't online, there is no success metrics covering the users. They were just they made user tests, and they were at first skeptical, but then liked the idea that they were able to drill down in huge search results. That's what they liked, but there are no real success metrics as it's not implemented.
Also not from the indexing side?
No, neither.
Torsten, I love this. And just to confirm, you are a one-man band, right? You've done this all by yourself. So you have to deal with yourself.
Most of the time.
Only. And on that note, this company that you very well presented the context, search is not a vital strategical element. And therefore, they don't have data teams or analytics teams around this that are presenting any iterations following that question. Now, with that in mind, if you were to scale this to another type of company, where it's important to have those elements of attribution, and where you have to count on the computational expense on another kind of a scale, as you reflected now with intentions, will you follow the same approach, or will you follow a different approach?
I would definitely follow the same approach, because I think LLMs off the shelf are good enough. And I think you're faster just using the off-the-shelf LLM for experimentation and getting your success data than first training a model specific to do the clustering that might definitely deliver better results. But you get the success data faster when you just do the off-the-shelf thing. And those models are evolving very fast, and I would not commit on any self-trained model when I see the pace that Google is giving with the Gemini models.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Thanks. So related a bit to the question before, if you were to go to production, how would you consider the user, the offer perspective? Would you let them the option to modify maybe the output of the LLMs, or would you try rather to hide it and make it as easy as possible?
I would definitely hide it, and make the input to the LLM as strict as possible. As soon as, because I built something. I started really playing around and built something like the assistant, where I put the search query into a GenAI and let it generate a question. And the first thing somebody said was, "Well, type me a poem written by, I don't know, Helmut Kohl or something," and then the poem appeared. So that's nothing I want to have to deal with, and yeah, just make it as strict as possible in terms of input checking.
I agree that Gemini is amazing. At the same time, Claude is great and OpenAI keeps shipping too. What's your approach to staying up to date with what's the current state of the art?
I doubt that you can, basically. For this specific implementation, I used OpenRouter as a router in front of the models, and we were able to switch between, we started with OpenAI, then Gemini 1.5, and then Gemini 2. And that was transparent to the code, and that was really nice. Yeah.
Any more?
How did you solve the problem of updating new documents when they are published with the generated parts or extracted parts?
There was just an API hook that they added to their content management system, and then they could update the extraction part as soon as they published something.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.